It should be no surprise that I'd follow up with another video. It is 5:58 p.m. It is, okay, November 26th, and it's Wednesday evening. And you know, I am known for making multiple videos on certain days, okay? And so obviously there's been a lot of things churning around in my mind. And what set it off is the check. That's what it was. It's because I feel it was a personal attack. I don't like those things, okay? I do not want to have to deal that means that I have to take out my time and be deal with some sort of entanglement or some sort of issue that relates to people that I used to know. I don't want anything to do with these people. How many times do I have to tell you? So then I have the earlier this evening while I was uploading, or I just I'm actually uploading it right now as I'm talking, and it's a list of it lists two things, and of course I'm talking in the video, okay? And it's called what I hope I'm pronouncing this, what Eric Arias should do, right? It's two things I'm requesting of him, and it's written on the video, okay? What he should do. Okay. And then as I was doing that, I was thinking, and the message that came into my mind was, no one likes the kids of 533. And I kept thinking, okay, do they have something to do with this issue? And what I suspect could be going on is, of course, there's a lot of limitations that are being notations on my account at Valley Strong Credit Union, basically saying, okay, well, call so and so if Maria does this, or it could also say something along the lines of she's a clone or something. These sort of campaigns against clones are all created by my former siblings. Okay, a lot of the kids who were, what do you call it, burden babies, or those kids who were repopulation card kids. A lot of these people grew up. Some of these kids, had tragic lives. Okay, some of those were farm hands. Some of them became celebrities, and some of them just grew up and had families of their own. And as they had families of their own, they had to use things like banks. They had to sit here and get a job. They had to live their life. Okay. So it is obviously something that they made up. I am under no obligation to be associated with these people whatsoever. Okay. And because I believe the check was intercepted and rerouted, or what they were trying to do was possibly, um, they might have tried to, what do you call it, launder money, or they may have called the bank and said, return the funds because Maria is blah, 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 blah. I'm putting this on Eric, okay? The message I have right now that's going on in my mind is that I am holy, and yes, I revealed human trafficking and now reversed the government shutdown. So I do suspect it, okay? Now, Eric, I understand that I'm talking about psychic messages, so I understand people are always going to put this in a debatable category, okay? But just like people who go to church and they pray, and they pray to the Virgin Mary, or they pray to the divine, or they pray to, statues of Jesus or whatever, and they believe in their prayers. They sincerely believe in their prayers. There are some people who go to, Pentecostal churches, and they, lay the hands on each other to try to heal each other, and they believe in this. Okay. So just like, I am combining in this issue only on this video, on these other videos, but I would never write this down or take this issue, my intuitive messages, into court. Okay, so I need you to understand that, because I understand what you guys do is you like to label people crazy. What I do know is that I left Murray Family Farms, and after leaving Murray Family Farms, I have been placed in strange job environments constantly dealing with harassment issues, dealing with obnoxious issues, or bullying behaviors from women that I don't even care about, nor do I even want to have a relationship with, okay? And what they were trying to do, they were jealous of me because of my projects. They want to involve themselves. They want to, and I don't want anything to do with these people. Okay. Now, when it comes to, my siblings, I maybe in your church, I remember people do take advantage of clones. They do. They take advantage of them. But I was adopted by the Gordon family, um, as some sort of, entrance way into, I guess, my father being able to take a job at NASA. I'm over the age of 18, and I'm no longer associated with these people. Okay, so these people are either trying to get money from me, and they are not on my account. I do not have any, what do you call it, notes. I should not have any notes saying that I have some sort of power of attorney. I do not. I do know that my son seems to experience some other issues with his bank in the last few weeks, and he's mentioned it briefly, but not trying to make any highlight of it, or maybe he's not even aware of it, because he seems very oblivious to how gang stalking works, but I don't. So any and everything that falls out of my norm, and it's not because I would not ordinarily be like this. Okay, let's just say for example, I never dealt with gang stalking many years ago. You know, things. So I understand odd things happen. I understand odd things happen. Things, throw you for a loop or whatever. But when you are a victim of gang stalking, and I understand that when you're a victim of gang stalking and how it was, these messages were propagated, it was done through the church and church type activities as well as online. So the majority of people that I meet are going to be people that have been, what do you call it? Brainwashed, basically brainwashed. Okay. So why I know not to trust anybody. Okay. And I've already talked about what was morally right when it comes to scripture, what is based on the law. Okay. We've talked about these issues. So there really is no argument as to who is right and who is wrong. So what else can I tell you? Okay, your entire community is guilty of gang stalking activity. Okay, and when it comes to these employers and people who are working in the same financial institution that you are, Eric, you have some stuff that is going on that should not be going on. And do I believe that that check was possibly good? Maybe. I don't know. Okay. But one thing's for here, somebody has to account for those funds. So if, for example, this check was a legitimate check, okay, and maybe this Karen girl sent it to me, right? So then I deposit it in my account, put it in my account, and then one of your bank representatives, whatever her name is, Whitman, ends up taking those funds out of the account and then sending it to maybe, one of the kids of 533. Okay. And then acting as if, well, the reason why we returned the check is because, it's because it was fraudulent. That's a possibility. And you know what? Who could sit here and prove otherwise? Because you guys are all in on it, including you, Eric, including you. So, they feel justified in doing their fraudulent stuff and breaking laws. And that's what they do, Eric. And so I'm thinking this stuff is going on under your watch. Okay, so let's just say, for example, that's not the case, Eric. Let's just say they wrote me a bad check. Okay, well then Karen at Eagle Bend needs to account for why, as a company, she would think it's okay to issue a check that does not have any funds. Why is it okay for Brian's name to be endorsed on that check? This is why I sent him the information, because he needs to know that. Somebody's gonna, and if this cat money was cash and it was dispersed to somebody else, well then guess who's holding the bag? Then Karen's gonna expect me to be able to purchase supplies, right? If that was legitimate. See, so somehow, somebody needs to be held accountable, whether this check was legitimate or not. And if a company issues bad checks, I will tell you right now, if that's the first thing, introduction of, a company, I would say that's fraud right then and there. Okay. It's fraud. Okay. You're not supposed to write bad checks. Now, when I was younger, I used to write bad checks. Okay. I used to do it when I was younger. You know what I mean? Because I was, young and inexperienced. Okay. I understand how the banking system works. Okay, but that's one thing to do it as an individual. But when you are a company, you have a reputation. When companies bounce checks to me, you know what goes on in my mind? This company isn't stable. No, I do not want to work for them. Okay, no, they probably do some shady stuff to get by. They probably rob from Peter to pay Paul. Okay, so somewhere, even if it seems like a harmless transaction for a company to send out somebody that is a bad check, but it says a lot about the company. Would I, as an investor, invest in a company that writes bad checks? Probably not. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I am over the age of 18. Yes, they were trying to limit my rights at my bank to my own money. There's a VIP meeting going on soon. Are you going to be attending, Eric? Are you invited to the VIP meeting? How I wonder. It's like it blows my mind. Like you guys do stuff that warrant, like, not just termination, but like outright arrest. Okay, and then you guys sit here and act like I'm not worthy to have a job. This is what blows my mind. It blows my mind. Now, apparently, the message I'm getting about these people, this Eagle Bend, and by me mentioning Eagle Bend, I am not trying to create a riff, okay? Because I am all seriously about taking care of this issue. And you may not think that this is important, but it is to me, okay? Now, if Eagle Bend, if let's just say, for example, Eagle Bend really was a legitimate company, right? Like it was a totally legitimate company. And by me talking about these what if scenarios, I am in no way trying to put Karen down. Okay. let's just say if she really wrote me a check that was legitimate, it was meant to be cash, there was money behind it, and that was that. Okay. Then I would still need to be able to figure out why in the world would you be placing a hold on my check that long. See, that was that time, it was that right there, that transaction right there that made me feel uneasy. And since becoming a target in this community, everything, I am leery of everything, and you need to know it. So this is why you have no choice but to sit here and fall and start doing the right thing. I'm tired of dealing with your stuff. Okay, I'm sick of it, Eric, and I'm aware of it. Do you understand? Do you understand? I know you can't respond to me, but I need you to understand that I've had enough. After 12 years of dealing with your illegal activity that I know good and well that you were participating in, okay? Whether you're overlooking it or not, okay? You are a member of city council, okay? Why would something that disgusting be going on in your community? Because you're condoning it by doing nothing, okay? You have a title, okay? So I expect this to be taken seriously, okay? So somebody has to account for something in this issue. Okay. And I'm tired of people messing with me. So every single time I'm going to call you out every single time. And it just so happens that this person was a criminal, Che Whitman. Okay. And she made a big mistake, not once, but twice. Number one, she made the mistake of contacting me when I didn't contact her. Today was the first day I contacted anybody. Okay. She contacted me. And made it seem as though in the letter that she was referencing that somehow I contacted her first. No, I did not. And this is what tickled me, because it's like these people tell on themselves all the time. Just like Jan Sizer, told on herself. She was from Act One. Okay, the time that I was talking about, how Steve Murray deserved, he really did deserve to be, he deserved to be retaliated against, and I haven't retaliated against anybody. But she brought it up, and I didn't ever mention it to her. So this is why I knew that you guys do a bunch of illegal shit. This is all you guys do. Okay, and I'm tired of it, and I'm aware of it, and you don't have any right to do it. Right to do it, and you are also someone who I'm losing respect for. I don't have any respect for you. I'm not even going to kid you. I don't respect you. I don't. Okay, but I do understand that you have an image to uphold. Okay, and I am somebody who has been a model citizen in your community. I have done everything right. Okay, so I'm tired of dealing with it. So why do you need to meet with the higher ups? What do you need to discuss? And you need to discuss your human trafficking and the fact that you guys have been trying to plot against me, Eric, and acting like you're a part of some sort of religion and that it's a righteous thing to do, Eric. I know more about the Bible than you are, dude. So why isn't the world? You're crazy, Eric. So fix it. The intuitive message I'm getting is that my accomplishments are upstanding, and I made the government shut down, reopen. They are, Eric. I'm on top of it. I know what's going on in this community. And really, what shocks me about people like you, or people who are ignorant in general, it's like they don't realize just how severe what they do. They don't know exactly how much they screw up. And the things that they do warrant me never speaking to them ever again. And then they get obnoxious about it. Like, it's almost like these people do things that are the equivalent of an absolute, like, a murderous attack. And then they think it's okay to sit here and play with my money. And then think I want to sit here and follow up on emails or communicate with these people on any level. Okay, that's just like, dealing with a serial killer. And that's exactly how you guys come off to me, Eric. That's the only way that you guys come off to me. And why would I think anything else, Eric? I'm asking you. Because you need to understand what gang stalking is. You need to when I say these things, I am being very dead serious. And you sit there and you guys let this stuff, fester. You know what I mean? I get disgusted by people like you, Eric. I am. I'm disgusted by people like you. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that many employees will be losing their jobs at VSCU. Ha ha. The other message I'm getting is that my path is clear to achieve my wishes. And that something about people do feel better and agree that this is better. Because what you're doing is you're trying to make up religious rules that do not exist. Okay, or based on your feeling. Okay, if a fat girl feels inadequate about herself, then somehow she wants to feel righteous and make it seem like this is a noble thing by being a fat slob.
And now she doesn't have to feel bad about it. And so somehow she wants to point out somebody because I'm a confident person because I don't have the same problems that she. I am not responsible for her problems. Okay, I'm not. So it's like, people. It's called immaturity, not being able to handle the mistakes that they make in life, or they're making their bad decisions or whatever. I'm not responsible for that. So instead of doing things constructive, they want to sit here and lash out on me. I'm not responsible for that. So you need to really check into that check that I sent, Eric, okay, and fix it. And fix it, okay? And what else do I want to say? I'm glad that this is how it needs to be. And like I said, it's to be fair to me. It's like I realized this is a corrupt community. I knew this. I've been saying this for the longest time, and I kept thinking, okay, well then let me move somewhere else. And I understand a lot of people do not. They tend to not follow business law. They just don't. Okay, so I really didn't have any idea where I was going to move to. But the point is that you guys made it unfair for me. There is no way that you showed in any way any sort of ability, or that you were willing to show any sort of respect or show that I was deserving of compensation at all, because you didn't even realize just how bad what you were doing. And this is why I'm saying you guys are ignorant, very ignorant. I mean, I am owed millions of dollars just by the violations that you guys did in the workplace, and then carrying it out in the community. Okay, then you ended up taking a charge of things, tampering with my private information, such as my credit cards. And you can sit here and talk about clones aren't supposed to have this. My father was a clone. He had credit cards. Okay, he had a bank account. So that you can tell right now, it's just that somebody wants to bully me. That's it. Okay, the people who were a part of the orphan drains. Yes, some of these people, besides like the celebrities and all these people, some of these people went to work at companies. They ended up having bank accounts, credit cards, living their life, having jobs, whatever. Okay, what you're doing is you're targeting me, is what you're doing. Okay, and you're trying to using some sort of like bullying tactic. Oh, she's different, so therefore those sort of things should never be on any customer account, regardless. Okay, and you should know that as a college educated person. Okay, you do not sit here and conduct your business based on some sort of religion that nobody else agreed to adhere to. That would have been in the contract, Eric. And if I would have saw some nonsense like that in the contract, I would have taken my business elsewhere. Duh. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so outspoken. I really don't. Okay, but it is like, do you understand? I don't get any sort of. I don't feel at peace with. I feel totally at peace with myself. Okay, but I don't feel at peace living here. Okay, because everything is done wrong. Everything is, it always feels like it's some sort of threat, or somebody's crying or being a crybaby, or it's some sort of issue or continuation of some other harassment issue that should have never been started in the first place. And what exactly are you going to be talking about in this meeting, Eric? You're going to be talking about me discovering how human trafficking has been going on, and how, yes, they were even so evasive that they were even preventing me to try to get food stamps until I said something about it. What else are you going to say? Huh? Get these employers. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do, but I need to work. Okay, either it's a remote job, either whatever. But I am not going to ever stop giving up and looking for work. It is not okay what you put me through. Okay, I've gone through so many different horrible things throughout my life, and the other life as well. Okay, that I didn't deserve. Okay, and now you're sitting here making my heart break by trying to sit here and abuse my son and acting like he's supposed to sit here and take the responsibility for it. It's not his responsibility, and you know it. Okay, and then don't you dare sit here and think, oh, we're going to tell her how to manage her money. That fat slob that came over to my house, that woman that came over to my house, she better not be touching any of my stuff. Okay, because she is not a part of my family, and I would not let her in. Okay. I would actually, when I really think about it, I wouldn't let her in if she was the finest of the finest women. Even if she was the most gorgeous thing that you could ever imagine. You know why? Because I understand. I have lived in a community that tried to kill me, Eric, and no one is going to get close to me on that level. Okay? Now, the message I'm getting right now is that clones are recognized as humans and all rights are granted. I want all my rights, okay? I didn't agree to any of that. I didn't agree to stop smoking marijuana so I can bank at your shithole. Okay?
And yes, I'm very grateful for my soul tribe assisting in the investigation. I'm also wondering what's going to be you guys are going to be discussing me. Okay, I understand. Okay, look, I understand that I'm very sensitive. Okay, of this issue. This issue should have been done a long time ago. Okay, it should have never happened. Okay, so what went on over at Murray Family Farms just continued on and on and on and on and on. And these people were bullying me. They didn't respect me when I was growing up. And I've said, okay, fine, goodbye. But somehow they want to linger. They still want to get their hands in it, okay? And somehow or another, with the bank fraud that's going on at the Valley Strong Credit Union, has something to do with the kids at 533. Okay, and it also has something to do with these other people. Get your hands out of my pocket. Okay, you guys are talking about that, and it is what it is. I do not want to deal with any more interruptions, any more odd stuff, any more, nothing at all. When I deal with customer service, you better serve me right, or I'm going to sit here and complain about it. And I have, I have every reason to. You know why? Because I'm not comfortable with being targeted. I'm not comfortable with any of it. And I've been saying that for the last 10 years. Okay? Every time I have to interact with you, I find it offensive. I hate it. You know why? Because I'm dealing with something ignorant and something that should be obliterated. Okay? The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that failure to all competitors. I'm done with it. It's stupid. The other message I'm getting is this only appears as true. My soul tribe, celebrity politicians are assisting with my job search. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that there is some sort of meeting going on soon. Okay? So you understand what I'm dealing with in this community. Okay? I don't like to sit here and be like the whistleblower. Okay? But I don't have a choice. Because these people are constantly bothering me. These people are constantly, every single chance they cannot get out of my business, they don't have the right to do what they're doing, okay? I hate these people. I hate them, okay? I don't have any reason to respect them, okay? So yeah, I just, I want to bring this to your attention because like I said, I have been dealing with their forms of harassment all my life. All of my life, okay? Just like, when I was going back to the days with CSC or any other job, they always wanted to make sure that they always had the last word, even when I didn't have anything to do with them. They always had to have somebody say something or whatever. And it's like, I don't want to have anything to do with you, okay? Do you understand how damaging you are? All you cause is problems. So goodbye. Now, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Something about me and me being single and yes, just because I'm free, meaning like I don't have anybody to answer to, doesn't mean that I live a debaucherous life. On the contrary, I live a very reserved life. If I wanted to, I have every right to do whatever I want. You know what I mean? I do. I mean, if I wanted to, I could go out and I guess be a slut, or if I wanted that. I mean, gross, but I could. But do I know? I don't. So you don't have to sit here and try to govern me or anything. It's really none of your business. I cannot stand that. And like it said, don't sit here and try to corral me into religion. Like I said, I cannot stand over organized religion. I cannot stand it. Okay, because I've seen what it creates. What it creates is you guys. Okay, that's all it does. Okay, I mean, I feel as though the mentality, all of it is just I cannot deal with it. I remember the people that I encountering the people that went to my sister Tanya's church. I used to cringe every time I was around them. I couldn't wait to get the hell away from them. Okay, this is my true feeling about it because they're ignorant. Okay, and I cannot deal with ignorance. I cannot stand it. Because you know what it is, all ignorant people are. They're dangerous to themselves and they're dangerous to other people. Just like, oh, they didn't think it was anything wrong with sitting here, spreading people's name around, throughout the United States. Oh, they don't see anything wrong with posting fake job ads. Yeah, it can force people into poverty. Okay, and it can force people into homelessness. It could all kinds of stuff. Oh, okay, but that's what they intended to do, right? Because somehow they have it in their mind that that their religion, that sort of they're righteous people, and they have the right to decide who lives and who dies. These are criminal people who don't even understand what they're doing. Okay, so I'm tired of having to deal with them. Okay, and I take my views very seriously. Okay, especially after 12 years. Okay, and then seeing everything go falling apart. You know what I mean? I was living on my own, okay? And then you guys made it so that my son comes and lives with me. He's 32 years old. He should be on his own. Okay? And who decided that? Not me. Not me.
533, and then we have people like Bruce Collins' family, right, who I made a point to not even marry or even acknowledge, and somehow they want to sit here and throw their 2 cents in. And why? Because, oh, I was a clone. You were making up some stuff that you talked about in the neighborhood when we were growing up, and you want to sit here and bring this shit up here now. Okay, I have a social security card. I have all the stuff that means and states me as an individual who is just like everybody else. Meaning, I pay into my taxes. Hopefully, knock on my particle board that my social security benefits will be available by the time I'm able to retire because I have been paying into them. Okay, why? Because I'm a citizen. Okay, which means that I am somebody who is recognized as someone who has complete and full rights. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to bring stuff or make stuff up, or make this cult group is trying to make stuff up. Because like I said, my father had credit cards and everything, and all that stuff. Okay, so stop your bullshit. Okay, stop it. I'm tired of dealing with it. Okay, you guys are evil and wicked. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that yes, my soul tribe is assisting with the investigation. There is a meeting about me going on soon. They're talking about my discoveries and something about me and Vladimir Putin. Um, People look at me as eccentric. Okay, it's not so much. Okay, this is not so much eccentric. It's I'm educated. I'm educated. I understand things like human trafficking, COINTELPRO programs, how they operate and where they infiltrate. Okay, I understand that you're going to sit here and try to like man my bank account. Try to sit here and have some sort of control over my money when you don't have any right to. What you're doing is breaking the law and you're trying to get away with it. So, I mean, I'm shocked because what these people are doing is worthy of getting fired immediately. Okay, because you are misappropriating funds. You're misappropriating funds. And what is a financial institution supposed to do? They're supposed to maintain funds for the community, a community credit union. So people are supposed to feel safe that they're putting their money that they earned in your financial institution. And what are you doing with it? You're playing with it. Okay, and you're letting other people know what's in it. You're letting other people into people's accounts that they're not supposed to. That means that you jeopardize people's privacy and their financial security. Okay, so tell me, why would somebody want to bank with Valley Strong Credit Union? Because they participate in gang stalking. That means that if little old retired woman who lost her husband decides to retire, get her retirement check, and she feels like I want to go ahead and put my money in Valley Strong Credit Union because she believes that this particular financial institution is rock solid. She can trust the word that her money is going to be safe. But then she's got like some money hungry niece or somebody who can just help themselves anytime they want to. Because you know what? The staff is willing to let these people break the law. Do you know that I'm talking about? I'm addressing the Bakersfield community. I want you to think about where you bank and get your money out of that account as soon as possible. Because these people participate in gang stalking, which tells you you cannot keep your money safe. Your money is not safe there. So, Eric, how are you going to account for Valley Strong Credit Union losing its reputation? How are you going to do that? I get the intuitive message that the people over at it's not my job. I don't know what it is at this point. People who gave me this check or whatever, something about them. Okay, they might smoke marijuana. That's a possibility. They might be people who are accepting of it, or they're not. Whatever. That's their choice. Okay. So what is it? Are you saying that because these people do what they want to do and live their life, you want to somehow prevent me? So I'm going to have to work a job. So I'm going to have to be. It's not your business. Okay. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a part of your community. I don't really care about fitting in this community. Okay. I just live here. It is that way. So whatever happens on that issue happens on that issue. Stay out of people's business. If you get a check, you just clear it like anything else. Okay. It doesn't need to be held or investigated or whatever. Eric, RIS, do the right thing. Okay. I'm going to wrap up this video and I will be back with another video sometime later. Good night. Bye bye.